Hello, amazing leaders, and welcome to day 31 of the amazing 90-day challenge. Today I want to ask you a question that an amazing leader himself, John C. Maxwell, asks or talks about. He says that leaders see more than others and also before others. And I want to explain that a little bit more and sort of unpack it, because it's kind of an unusual sentence to get your head around. So my version of that is amazing leaders see more than others and they see before others. They see what's going to happen in the future, if you like. They can try and predict it better than most people can. So let me put it into a scenario that you might be able to work out a lot easier and get your head around. Who do you not look forward to meeting? Okay, so often we have people that we do really look forward to, but I'm also talking here about the negative side of things. Who do you not look forward to meeting? Because there will definitely be some of those types of people in your life or in your days or weeks as well. And why is it that you don't look forward to them? Why do some people always react in a certain way? You know, they often say the same things, or they'll do the same things, or they'll have the same problems for your amazing ideas and solutions, and they'll always do something in a certain way. So if they always do something in a certain way, then you can see more than them and before them, because you know what they're going to do, what they're going to say, what they're not going to say and do as well. Because it's not all about what people do and say. Sometimes it's because they don't say anything, they don't get involved, they don't stand up and be counted for what they are believing inside of them. They might just remain silent, and that can be very frustrating too. So amazing leaders see more than others and before others. So remember yesterday, or the day before I think it was, we talked about how you are in control of your reactions, the 10% of what happens to us and the 90% of how we react to it. Well, because you're an amazing leader, you can preempt that 90%. You can decide beforehand that you're not going to rise to them. They're not going to get you and control how you behave. You decide beforehand how you're going to react. And the best way that I can think of doing this, and something that I do, is I play out the scenario in my head. And it may be several different scenarios, 7 different outcomes, but there's not going to be hundreds and thousands of them. So you think about what you need to say, what you want to discuss, what you want to bring up, whether it's a new idea or a difficult topic or just whatever else it might be. And you think about who you're going to be talking to that about or sending that out to them. And you work out what's their response going to be. Now, because you're an amazing leader, you're going to know your people well. And you're going to know how certain people are going to react to whatever it is you want to say or do or change, especially around change as well. People that aren't such amazing leaders struggle with change. They like their comfort zone or their comfort pit. They don't want to move out of that. Whereas we want to change things, we want to progress, we want to make things better for everybody involved. So play out those scenarios in your head, do a little role play. Right, I'm going to say this and that person's going to say that. Or I'm going to say this and they might say that. Keep going until you've worked out all the different scenarios, and once they've said their response, what then do you say in reply to that? You're looking to defuse a situation here, not put more fuel on the fire. So that 90% of how you're going to react, it might just be you simply, look, that's the decision we've made, and then you walk away. It might be that you allow for more time for discussion so that they can really get it, and really understand it, and really get on board. It all depends on what you're trying to do, how big the problem is, or whatever it is that you're trying to implement, and how much this person's going to react or not to you. Now, some people ask me, well, what happens if they don't react in that way? What happens if they turn around and say, yep, I'm on board, let's sign me up and go for it? Well, that's fine too. That's the result you really wanted. You didn't want to go into the discussion with some conflict. You wanted to get the result and move forward so that you could put whatever it was into place as quickly as possible. So if they do say that, and sometimes they will, they'll catch you out and they won't say any of the things that you thought they might say. And on those rare occasions, then say, fantastic, that's brilliant, really pleased, thank you so much, let's go, let's crack on, let's get on with it. But whatever it might be, at least you've got answers for their possible suggestions, replies, responses to whatever it is you are going to say. And it might be that they're going to roll their eyes. You know they're going to sigh or huff or shrug their shoulders or look away or look down or just looked like they're not interested at all in what you have to say. Be prepared for all of that. It's not just the words we speak, it's more about their body language and what they're saying non-verbally than sometimes what it is verbally as well, especially if you're doing it in a group setting. Especially if there's other people around you, often that one negative person can affect the whole group. So be prepared for that. Another way you can do it is by preempting it. And you can actually say, look, I know some of you are going to struggle with this because it's change, it's new, it's different, whatever it might be. And I've thought about that because it shows that you as an amazing leader do see more than others and you see before others. And with that, you can then try and preempt some of their problems that they're going to create inside their own head. Sometimes it's good for you to actually work through some of those problems. If you're typically a very positive person and always upbeat, sometimes you might need to just think, okay, is there any merit in these negative questions or whatever else it might be? Is there some merit there that actually I haven't looked into because I can only see the positives in it? That way then you do get a rounded view on it as much as possible. So you can use those people as your risk assessors in life and think, what would that person say if I told them about this new amazing idea that I've got? What would they say? What would they come up with that I'm not even thinking because my brain doesn't go that way? So you can use them, and use their questioning as a strength that you may not have because you're more of a positive person. And the thing is to remind yourselves that we are all different. The world would be a boring place if we were all the same. So embrace those differences. You might even call that person out and say, this is the new idea, this is the new change, this is the new thing we're going to do. Person X, what do you think about that? So you put them on the spot straight away. You might leave them to the last person as we're going around the room. You might get them in and say, look, I'm going to make an announcement soon. I just wanted to get your feedback on it before I make that announcement. Treat them differently. Don't fear what they're going to say. Embrace it. Try and answer those questions so that when you do make the announcement, they're on board as well. And if they don't get on board, if they can't get on board, if they are always going to be negative forevermore, then you've got to feel sorry for them because they can only look at things in one way. And I don't know about you, but if I could only look at things in one way, I'd want to look at the positive in things rather than the negative every time. So make sure not only do you kind of feel sorry for them rather than get angry with them, but make sure you're also not the person that's only looking at things in one way as well, by getting a more holistic view on what that problem, change, solution, new idea is, so that you're not going in gung-ho just thinking this is the best way, the only way to do something. And then again, we're all human, we all have stuff going on. So maybe just remind yourselves, they might be having a bad time at home. There might be stuff that you don't know that's going on in their lives. So think about that as well, rather than just going straight for, oh, that person always does that. Just think about them as a real human being. Maybe think of them outside of work, and think of them as a child even, or what have you, whatever it takes for you to get a different view of that person. And we all have difficult people to deal with at certain times in our lives, and that's part of being an amazing leader as well, is how to handle that in the best possible way that you can. So remember today that you, as an amazing leader, see more than others, and you also see before others. So think about situations that are going to come up today or this week, things that have happened over the past week. It's good to reflect on that and think, what could I have done differently? How could I have better preempted what that outcome was going to be? So each time you're learning from it, so you don't make the same mistakes again and again. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you'll have an amazing day. And remember, why be average when you can be amazing?